Hello everyone, I'm August Darius Danielsson, #1 leading Grandmaster numerologist in the ancient Chaldean way of working with the numbers that goes millennia back into ancient history. And according to many myths, this is a divine knowledge given by the ancient gods. However, there are many theories, but there is not one that can 100% say that the legends behind it, they're not true. Because this knowledge is so accurate that you can take any person, any company, any nation of the world, and you can do this thing called a numeroscope. That is a way that you work with the numbers from an advanced mathematical formula. You can put all the numbers up into this thing here called the numeroscope. This is two pyramids put on top of each other, and from this you calculate the numbers of the names of the letters. Every letter is bound with a number, and when you add these numbers together you get these compound numbers that the names hold. And so is it also that the birth date of a person or a company, of a country, anything, they hold a boundary to a planet within our solar system. That is like in astrology, that you know that the sun that represents, for example, winner mentality, the drive to want to become the very best in one's endeavors, the number 2, the moon, planet of creativity, and so on. So basically, numerology and astrology is one of the very same things. One of the main differences in the ancient Chaldean or Achaemenid Persian numerology is that you put a number on each of the planets. So for all humans, we are born a date of a year and a month. And that means that these numbers, they decide this thing called the higher self. That means that these are our life purposes. What we have come to this world to do, to master, to achieve, and what we have come to learn others. So is it also that the names we hold, the names that we are given from our parents, or if perhaps we change our name later, this is what is called the human self. This decides whether we live against our life purpose or if we live with it. So is it that with everyone who have not been named according to numerology, they will have some unbalances here. These unbalances are the ones that forces an individual to not live 100% one's life purpose. That is so because in the names we hold, there are these planets that are behind the names and how they work together. Some planets, they represent some abilities, some represent some others, some work together well, but others, they thwart one another. When these thwart one another, then one's life becomes rough, tough and hard, and the person may feel that nothing really goes one's way, and therefore sadness can appear. Sadness can lead to depression, so can diseases and a lot of other bad things that we don't want. So is it also that with any person that I've never met before, I can, from only their full names and their birthday, I can tell anything about this person. And so if I ask them to, for example, fill out a questionnaire, how much accurate my interpretation was, my score spread about 800 individuals. It now says about 85% is the average score. However, many people, they say 100%, but there are also some people who are a bit self-denying. For example, if you tell this person that he or her, they, for example, they talk too much, they have a bad sexual life, and these things are problems with these things. Some people, even though these things are true, they are likely to say, no, it's not true, even though if some of their nearest relatives are asked these questions, or a partner in life, they would say it's true. So mostly according to my statistics, the latest, as I become even more accurate in understanding the numbers, they mostly say all of them, 100% of what I say is accurate. So is it that these numbers that are held in the names, as far as I can tell, with any person that I've ever met, the flaws and the strength and the good and the bad things. For example, love life, I can tell everything about that. If it's a good love life, if there are problems, what kind of problems, health. I can tell if this person is likely to, for example, have cancer, sclerosis or any other diseases. I can tell also if the person has a good health. I can also tell about relations to any person. If this person is popular or if he or she has problems being around people and so on. The list is long. I can tell all aspects of any person in the world that I've never met before. I don't even have to see them. I can just receive just their names, or not even that. I can also just receive the numbers of their names. If someone calculates the numbers for me, I will be able to, for example, record a podcast where I read these numbers, and this can be played to this person. And this person who I read for will say 100% is accurate. And now is it that these things can also be changed by a numerological name change from here. So is it that when I read the numbers from the names, I can tell how things are right now because they have their current names, they hold some vibrations. These vibrations, they are as they are because the names are so. But if these names are changed into the very best formula, there will be nothing anymore thwarting this person's life purpose. That means that all the flaws, all the problems, all the obstacles, they will gradually be changed, they will be transformed, and they will be healed. And so is it that this person who changed the name will initiate this thing called a karmic transformation process after the name change has been legally implemented in one's papers. So is it also the only important thing here is that the new name is implemented in the legal papers, such as the passport, the health insurance card, and these things. The person can still call him or herself the old name. It doesn't matter, because the only thing that matters is what is in the legal papers. So why is that? It is so because in the government, that is where, as a society, that we have decided that these are our official names. So that means our official name is what is in our legal papers. If in the legal papers we have a name that is changed into a better vibration, then one will start a major healing process. That is a process that lasts. There are steps in this process. There are from the first month to the fourth. These are months where everything is just filled with joy, optimism, and probably being high on life, feeling a lot of hope for the future. And so comes this process 4 months after the change until a year, usually, where all the old stuff, all the rough karma from the old numeroscope, from the old names, they are coming to the surface. They are there to be cleansed. And this is also the process where the new good vibrations of the new name, they are here being integrated deeply within the cells of the body. That is the period where one really experiences a major growth of consciousness and friends. A lot of new friends is coming into one's life. Some old friends who are have been taken advantage of this person is likely to being changed out. So this is a major, huge shift. This is a shift to something that is like all the dreams, all what is in the life purpose of each individual, that is being one's reality. So that means from our birth date, these numbers will be 100% fully supported, so there will be nothing holding one back to achieving one's true life purpose. One will no longer have to do something in life that doesn't suit one. One will instead experience that creating a reality of one's dreams coming true. That means that there will be much less setbacks, actually basically no setbacks in one endeavors. So one will have a really advanced consciousness to feel what is true for me, the intuition to feel, am I doing this right? Are these people right for me? Do I need to think another way of this, and what decisions should I make? And therefore having this inner guidance always leading to the right choice, this right choice that will make life really pleasant, so that one will not fall into the hands of people who will abuse this person or anyone who changed the name. So this also means that one will experience a lot more ease, a lot more. It doesn't mean that it's not a way of, some people would say, isn't that life meant to be hard? And no, life is not meant to be hard. We are now, if you look at the world, in a process of major global transformation. That means also the life of the individuals should now be more easy. And this is what makes life much more pleasant, so that we don't have to hit the head against the wall 1,000 times, and we don't have to make a lot of mistakes, because we will do the right thing from the beginning. And if you change your name numerologically after my or our guidance, we are a whole crew. We are a crew of my partner here in the company, and so also we are educating some great people into becoming the world new numerologist superstars. And that means, so you can book me, you can book some of the ones I have educated. We will all deliver the same good result. What we will deliver is that your dreams becomes your reality very easily. That means that achieving your goals, you don't have to work like 40 years to do it. You can do it in perhaps 2 or 3 or 5 years. You can make a huge deal of money. You will meet the love of your life. It will be extremely easy for you to have children, if that's what you want. It also means that you will be very happy. You will experience a great deal of joy in your life, because everything that works to support your life purpose. That means also learning in this process. That is being much more pleasant, because you will have a higher state of consciousness. A higher state of consciousness that makes the universe not having to hit your head against the wall 1,000 times, because you will know already what is the right thing for you. So you will have the experience from it within cosmos, and the stars and the universe will show your way to success. So now this is a talk about what the numerology does. And in this case, I want to take it once again to the test. There was this other video where I predicted the outcome of the US presidential election. Would it be Hillary Clinton or Donald J. Trump? It is not yet decided, but we will see about that. So another test we will do today. Live here from the state of Denmark. People all over the world, they talk about happy Danish people. Are Danish people really that happy? Yes or no? I will tell you more about that. And in order to tell you that, I have here prepared the Numeroscope for the country Denmark. And these numbers, I will talk about Denmark. What kind of country is Denmark? I will tell that from the numbers of this Numeroscope that will explain extremely thoroughly what kind of nation we are here. And I will also compare it to the numbers of this great nation that I also love, really, United States of America. So to Denmark. We start with the higher self, because Denmark was founded the 5th of June 1849. That means that the birth vibration of the country Denmark, that is the number 5 as the 5th of June. So the number 5, that is the number of planet Mercury. Mercury is a planet that is related to business, that is related to people, that is also related to the element of wind. You probably know the elements: earth, wind, water and fire. So the number 5, which is associated with planet Mercury, that is all about being liked among people, getting along usually with everyone, being a good talker and setting things to start, presenting ideas to people, making people do things for you, and communicating. Communication is the birth vibration of Denmark. And that is also the number of being liked, most places, getting along with everyone. Denmark always had the reputation of being a country where people are usually liked all across the globe. When Danish people travel, people usually like Danish people, because there is this usually getting along with all kinds of people. That is one element in the country of Denmark. But so is it also that the country Denmark was founded in the 6th month, that is June, month of June. That is the 6th month, and the number 6 is associated with planet Venus. This number, the number 6, is extremely dominant in the Numeroscope of Denmark, because we have the number 6 here as the month vibration, and the destiny number, the low destiny number, 15.6, the high destiny number, 33.6. So we have the number 6 here, and we also have the number 6 in the solar plexus center. The number 6 is a planet that represents family. It represents close relationships. It represents this attitude of being like drinking a cup of coffee, sitting down with people, coziness. In Denmark, we have a special word for this. This word is hygge. Hygge is the situation where you sit in your house or your apartment with some people you like. You're social. You just sit down, don't really do so much, maybe just drinking a cup of tea, a cup of coffee and talking about this and that. Just talking just to relax and take things slowly. And it's mostly related to family. Like in families, people do this. They eat some chocolate, they perhaps drink Coke, Coca-Cola. And this feeling of hygge, that is what is also associated with the number 6. This thing of just getting along. But this number, the number 6, is also associated with this thing of like we are all equal, we are all one. It means for good or bad, everyone is equal. But that also means if someone has a winner mentality, if someone says, I really want to be the very best, I want to make a huge deal of money, these people are told to shut up. Because in Denmark, we have this thing called Janteloven. Janteloven, in Danish, it means the law of Jante. It is old folklore. I will not bore you too much with this. But this is a folklore about, in the Danish mentality, it is that there are 10 commandments, like in the Bible. And the first commandment is, don't think that you are anything. Second, don't think anyone likes you. 3, don't think you can teach us anything. And so it goes on. It means like, if you are really doing well, if you have a great deal of success, first of all, you have to pay a major deal of taxes, so you're not too much better, because all your success, that will be eaten up by a tax father. That means if you make more than what is like $50,000 a year, you'll have to pay 65% of taxes. If you want to drive a big Ferrari, you have to pay 250% of taxes. That's because we all have to be equal. No one should be better than one another. That also means that if you show that you are better, if you brag, people, they're likely to freeze you out and say, no, you are too much of a smart ass, we don't like to hear anything about your bragging, and so you will be cut out of the social life. In the United States of America, it is not that. It is unlike that. It is like, if you have a winner mentality, you should be proud, you should show it. But in Denmark, because we have this number 6, that means that we are one big family, we're equal. But you should not be better than us. Because if you are better than us, then we don't like you. And the country of Denmark, we also have this number 12.3 in this thing called the heart center. That means how Danish people are being perceived and how the nation of Denmark is being perceived around the world. And the number 12.3, here we have in the number 12.3, I'm not going to be too technical about why it means this, but what it means, this number, is that one comes out often in a great deal of drama, problems, and making trouble. And here, for example, we can mention the Mohammed cartoon crisis. This was a situation where Denmark was in a major negative spotlight all around the world. And this number 12.3, it also means that in Denmark, even when we had a great economy going on in the zeros, there were like in 2005, the economy in Denmark was so good that we could almost buy up the entire world. That was what our former Prime Minister, Anders Fogh Rasmussen, he said. But still, there were a lot of drama in the media about, so there was one old person who didn't get his his help at home, and he so there were people who, for example, if you go to the United States, you have to pay for these things, but in Denmark it is funded by the government, because in Denmark it's founded by the government. People take this thing for granted, and because it's like everyone is being taken care of here in Denmark. But this has a major dark side as well, because in Denmark we have the lower destiny number, which is the number 15.6. The number 15.6, that is a number of really impressing people. Impressing people say they would like really get under the spell for Denmark. That's like why when tourists, they go here, they say, oh, it's such a lovely, beautiful country, we love Denmark. But when you live here, the number 15.6 has a dark, dark side. The number 15.6 is also a number of creativity. That is good. But in this creativity, it is more like a melancholic creativity. It is a melancholy that leads to depression. In Denmark, every 5th person has or do suffer from anxiety or depression, which is 100% linked with this number. So is it also that the number 15.6 is also associated with cancer. In Denmark, A great deal of people, they get cancer, sadly. It's really sad. It's terrible. But happy Danish people, are we that happy? Yes or no? Why is it that Danish people are being called happy? In the name Denmark. The name Denmark, that makes the number 191. The number 191 is a number in which we have the Sun and planet Mars. In the number 1, that is the number of the Sun. In the number 9, that is the number of planet Mars. When you add 1 and 9 together, it makes the number 10. In the number 10, you have once again planet Mars, and you have the 0, which represents the entire universe and cosmos. Cosmic central awareness. In this number 191, the number of the Sun that represents winner mentality, wanting to become the very best, and very unlike the number 6, but it represents that one has a great deal of optimism, a great deal of being happy for no real reason. It is also about saying when things are not going your way, you will still say, oh, everything is fine, we will make it, we will make everything right. So the number 191, that is about a period of when you are in a period where everything is great, you're really ecstatic, you're really like, oh, it's so good. And but when you are not happy, it is like with this number 6 that is associated with the number 191, then it's like, don't infect us with your negativity. Don't come here and be sad to us. We want to stay happy. So don't come here and make us unhappy. And that also denotes this 15-6 of being depressed. So it means like if you don't agree with us, then you should go away. Therefore also there is a great deal of suicide in Denmark, because we are expected to be happy. We are expected to have the most political correct attitude, political correct opinion about things. You are expected to be happy. If you're not happy, then you are lonely, sadly. So, the official name of Denmark, that is Kongeriget Danmark. That means the kingdom of Denmark in Danish. In the name Kongeriget, it makes the number 37-1. The number 37-1 is the number also associated with the Sun, but here we have the numbers 3 and 7, where the number 3 is associated with planet Jupiter. Number 7 is associated with planet Neptune, and so is it that this number is more about being popular, international business, getting worldwide with your ideas. And there is some kind of like, if we think of this worldwide business, there are some companies in Denmark that are really successful, such as Maersk, Novo Nordisk, and ISS, and many other to mention. You probably also remember the Danish band Aqua, who you know from the song I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Yeah, and this means that in Denmark there are some things that goes internationally and is successful with that. But so about one of the more sensitive topics about Denmark. We have this thing called the life theme number. That is what makes, that is, you can say, one of the main focuses of Denmark. That is the number 2, that is the number of the moon. It represents good-heartedness, wanting to help people, wanting to be good, wanting to do good things. And the number 2, because it's about creativity, it is also about valuing things that are beautiful, valuing things that looks good, such as when you are in Denmark, you see see a lot of pictures from the like 100 years ago, the golden age of Denmark, as it's called, where you see some beautiful green forests with the Danish flag waving in the background and a perfectly clear blue sky. That is the mentality of Denmark, that beauty. And when you look at Scandinavian Danish design, when you look at chairs like Arne Jacobsen, Bang & Olufsen, and you can mention a great deal of designer brands from Denmark that are very successful. You can also think of the Opera House in Sydney, the Opera House that was designed by a Danish architect, Utzon. And we have this company Bang & Olufsen that is worldwide and in China and I think the US as well. And so this is not without problems, because we have this thing here called the column number. Think of it as the live theme number, that is like the feet, that is with what you stand on the ground. So the number 2, that is about being sensitive, being a good-hearted person, liking beautiful things, like when things look good, but also like to help people. But there is this number 16.7, which is the column number. The column number that represents the ground on which you stand. So the column number that represents, for example, if you stand on a good ground, good solid, rock solid ground, or if you stand with your feet in quicksand, if you sink, so no matter how good feet you have, if your feet are in quicksand, you will sink down and it will be hard for you to keep your balance. It's also, you can compare it to like in a forest. The tree, if the tree has good solid roots, then it can withstand any kind of bad weather. But when it does have a very weak root net, then it will very likely tip in a storm. So that is what the column number is about, like the roots of Denmark. And it's associated with the number 2. The number 16.7 as the root number, or you can say the column number, that is associated with betrayal, a lot of failures, and trusting the wrong people. Trusting the wrong people. Wanting to help a great deal of people. Really wanting to make the world a better place, but not really being appreciated for that. So it means like wanting to help people, and these people the nation helps, they betray them. And now I don't want to be too political in this, but there is a debate going on here in Denmark. There are a great deal of refugees that have been helped in Denmark by the government. And these refugees, there are a lot of debate that are they trouble to us? Do they make terror perhaps, whatsoever? Like, I don't want to be too political in this, but just telling what is the situation. So it means that the number 16.7, that being too good, and that leading to trusting people who is just using the system. There is a very generous system in Denmark, so you can get free medical care, you can get free education, you can get free welfare. So if you don't have any money, you get money from the government to pay your bills and everything. So you can say that the number 16.7 means that a lot of people, they abuse this, they abuse the system, they abuse the good-heartedness of the system. So in Denmark, it was founded in the year 1849. In the year 1849, you have the numbers 1, 8, 4 and 9. When you add them together, it makes the number 22. And so once again, 2 plus 2, that makes 4. That means we have the number 4 as the ruling planet of this number. The number 4 is associated with planet Uranus. Uranus is all about innovation, wanting to think new ways, wanting to think outside the box. Here in Denmark, they are very proud of innovation. In fact, Denmark is on top 10 of the most innovative places in the world. But so is it also that the number 22.4, despite it is innovation, you also have the double 2, the number of the moon. And once again, I talked about the number 2 is about creativity, but it is also about really wanting to help people, but also sometimes being naive, getting associated with the bad people, with wrong people, with people who is taking this person, this nation into trouble. For example, our ex-Prime Minister, Anders Fogh Rasmussen, he helped George Bush with the war in Iraq. He was a close friend with Mr. Bush. And the number 22.4 really means that Denmark happens to get along, associate ourselves with bad people who is like taking us from behind. Sorry for the language, but that's what is the essence of the number here. 22.5, being too naive, too good-hearted, and being abused by other people. So is it that we have this aura number here, the number 11.2. The number 11.2 is also, we once again have the number 2, the planet of the moon. That represents wanting to help, once again, but this number, as we have the double 1, that is the number of the sun. The sun, that represents perfectionism. That represents the wanting of becoming the very best. So that means we have the number and the planet sun, not the planet, the star of the sun. That is an extremely potent power. It is the element of fire, where there is only one sun. So when there are 2 suns, you get burned. That means that there are a lot of thoughts going on inside the mind of saying, am I good enough? Do I do these things good enough? What do people think of me? And that means also the people are getting stressed. The number 11.2 is associated with insomnia, diabetes. That is associated with this thing of being busy all the times, doesn't get things done always. So there are a lot of this going on, like oh, I'm so busy, I can't grasp anything, I just need to get this done, and it's so bad. And that means that also associated with this number 15.6, that amplifies this thing of depression, because the number 11.2 makes the mind race, make the mind go crazy. So there's a lot of this bad self-confidence also in this number. And if we compare Denmark to the United States of America, we have some very different numbers, and that's why the United States is so different from Denmark. First, the United States was founded the 4th of July, 1776. That makes that the birth vibration is the number 4, which is the planet of the number of planet Uranus. Uranus is all about innovation. We also have innovation in Denmark, but it's not in the way it is innovation in the United States of America. It's more like that is the main focus. Really wanting to be different, like in the United States, like I also mentioned in my previous video, in that video of the US presidential election. There's this thing that the people of the United States, they want to do many things differently, such as not implementing the metric system, and there are a lot of things that they want to do differently, not to be like Europe, but to be one United States of America, like also God's own country, because we have the birth month, July, the 7th month. The number 7 is the planet is associated with planet Neptune. The number 7, like you know, there are 7 days of the week, and 7 is a holy number. So the number 7 is associated with all things such as spirituality, religion, and also intuition. That is also why in the United States of America, religions are so powerful. The church is very powerful. There are a lot of people who believe in God. In Denmark, it is different. In Denmark, not so many people believe in God. I think about 80% of the Danish population, they're atheists. So in the United States, this thing about achieving things, that is more well liked, because the destiny number, the low destiny number, is the number 14.5, which is all about business, getting things done and making a great deal of money. And the higher destiny number is the number 32.5, which is all about international business, inspiring people, traveling the world, and with corporate business and a great deal of achievement. And that means people in the United States, they go out and tell what they have done in order to inspire people. For example, giving speeches, giving lectures, but also selling their product to the entire world. And this thing about selling things to the entire world, it is also that in the name America, that makes the number 17.8. The number 17.8 is about, how can you say, immortality. Immortality means that whatever people do, for example, a company or an actor, a singer, they do something that goes worldwide. That's also why you can say, for example, Madonna, Lady Gaga, Rihanna, all these major stars, they are famous across every nation. In Denmark, in comparison, we have very few artists who are really famous outside of Denmark, or at least famous in the entire world. How many Danish singers do you know? You probably only know Aqua, Barbie Girl, and perhaps you know someone named Mø who made a song with Justin Bieber. That's it. What more do you know? I guess not much. But in the United States of America, there is this number 17.8 as its immortality. That means that the glory and the popularity that lasts for an entire lifetime. That means also that in Denmark it's like they only make perhaps one big hit. That's it. Then they're gone. Or at least they do. Some of them have an international hit, but it doesn't last that long. So in the United States of America, there's not so much of that which we call hygge. In the United States of America, it's more like you have to work hard. If you want to achieve greatness and glory, you have to work hard. In Denmark, it is not like you have to work hard. You can get money from the social welfare system, or if you just have a decent normal job, so you can be just like anyone else, not being too much flamboyant, then it's good. If you're just like us, it's good. But in the United States of America, people who have great success, they are the ones who people adore. But the way of achieving success, as previously mentioned, that is hard work. And so is it, because in the solar plexus center of the United States of America, there is this number 9, which is about, that is the number associated with planet Mars. It is all about getting things done, action, but also having really high expectations on one's own achievements. That also means with the number 9, it is like you really have to do things, you really have to be ambitious. And so there's also this number 13.4 that is about you always have to think new ideas, but it's also this, that the number 4, that is about new things, changes, going other ways with things. But so is it also when it is in the solar plexus center that represents the conscious lower, what the fuck is it called, the subconscious mind. Sorry for the language, by the way. That means that that people here, they're very often like Am I the right place in life? Is the grass perhaps greener at the other side of the fence? And that is also in love life. So therefore it's like in a relationship. In the United States there are also a lot of this. Am I in the right relationship? Is this the right for me? And thereby it can also result in cheating and being unfaithful to one's partner. And so we know many cases of this. Hillary, Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky, that is the most famous, and John F. Kennedy and Marilyn Monroe. And the list perhaps is longer than that. But so another very interesting thing of the United States is that in Denmark we have this column number, which is the number 167, that is about usually being ripped off by people who are being helped. In the United States the number is 516. The number 516 is about army, military, weapons, fights. So it is about military. You can see in the United States everyone, not everyone, but a great deal of people, they own a gun. They don't do that in Denmark. In Denmark it is very hard to get a gun. You won't really get it. It's extremely hard. But the number 516, when it's about war, it also means like going to wars. That happens with the United States of America. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen in Denmark. It happens as well, but in the United States it is more. It is much more represented. And so is the life theme number. The number 23.5, and that is about karmic reward, making a great deal of money, and that's why there are many extremely rich people in the United States of America. And in my previous video I also mentioned this number combination of 17.8, 23.5 and 13.4, which is called the World Conqueror. That is a number combination of being able to achieve major deal of things, but it is also a number combination of major disaster. Like in the United States of America, you can become a self-made billionaire if you just work hard enough. But there's also the dark side of this medal. Like if you are a hard-working American and you probably have your own house and you have a family that you support, perhaps you get a disease, you maybe get cancer, but you can't afford to pay the hospital bills. So perhaps you end up on the street, your family is toast, and that is the dark side of this. That it can go either extremely well or it can be extremely disastrous. It depends on what numeroscope the individual holds. If the individual holds in the United States of America some numbers that is about money, then it will be activated with this number combination. But if the person has number combinations of failure, that will also be activated and then failure will happen. So is it also that if you want to become extremely rich, then the United States of America, that is the place for you, because you will not get that rich in Denmark. That's not possible. But if instead you want to have a good family, if you don't want to become that successful, if you're just happy to have a normal life, a normal house, a normal family, so a comfort zone and some social security, then Denmark is the place for you. But so is it, what do you want? Do you want to be extremely successful, or do you just want a normal life, a normal family? The United States of America is not so good for families as Denmark, because there's not that social system as is here. So if you want to do well with a family in the United States, then it is better if you have a great deal of money so that you can pay for college or university. These things are free here, but so is it also that you won't won't be that successful in your business because you have to pay so much taxes, but also because Danish firms are not so good at being international as in the United States because of the numbers of their country. So, what do you say? Is this true? Are these things that I said about Denmark or the United States true? Let me know, and please subscribe. Many more videos like this will be available, and you can also contact me for reading, and then I can tell you what is in your numbers, and you'll see that everything is 100% accurate of what I tell you. I will also be able to tell you about the past, what happened. You can mention any year, any date, or you can also I can tell you what happened a whole year from month to month. I can tell you about any date, for example, if you say 25th of October 2005, what happened that day, and so I will be able to tell you hour by hour, so and so and so, that and that and that happened. So I hope I inspired you, and stay tuned for more cool videos just like this.